What's up, guys, and happy Friday. Today we're looking at the ROFIS TR20. This is an Anglelight. 1100 lumens is the max output, and like I said, it's an Anglelight, so you can turn this thing. Now, the first thing I notice about this is it's not easy to turn whatsoever. So you actually got to use quite a bit of force. Some people might like that, others might not care that you have to use that much force. Some people might not even be able to actually turn that. I mean, I reviewed an Anglelight probably a few weeks back, and that one, I wouldn't call it too loose, but this thing is just, I'm trying to do it here in real time. You almost have to look. There we go. I was doing it the wrong way. But it does do a little pressure. Now, I have done it quite a few times, and I have noticed it getting a little bit loose, but it definitely is tight. At first, I was looking at it, I'm like, is this the same light? Because it was a little hard to turn. So, yeah, this is it. One thing I do like is when it is angled like this and you hold it, it almost, I mean, it lines up perfectly. You got the buttons here on the back, you got the power button, so I'll turn it on there. And then they have a cycle button, so you can cycle through the different modes. Now, there's like a moonlight, or they call it the lowest, and then there's low, medium, high, and turbo. And one thing about this light is that there's a little indicator that will show up and let you know how much battery life is left. You know, rough estimate. If it's green, you know, obviously you got a full charge, and if it's blinking red there, see, I'm in turbo. But watch this, if I turn it off, or let's say I go back into the lowest setting, and then I turn it off, and now when I turn it back on, it'll be in the lowest setting, and it will let me know that it has, like, it's green, so it's good to go in that setting. But when I get up there into the higher modes, it'll be like, oh, I'm getting, you know, I'm running low. So this does run off an 18650 battery. It is rechargeable too. There's a little recharging slot right here, so it charges off of USB, which is nice. You don't have to take the battery out, and it's IPX8, so I believe it's 6 feet waterproof, which is nice. Let's pull the battery out here real quick, just check out what kind of battery is included. It's branded ROFIS 3400 milliamp hour 18650, so, and it is rechargeable. Goes in here. Now, the light's made of aluminum. It's like an aircraft grade aluminum. It's got a nice black finish on it. It's got a nice side clip here. It's a rather, you know, heavy duty side clip. It is removable, and you can position it different direction on the light if I wanted to. There's a place for a lanyard here on the tail end. And is the tail magnetic? Actually, I have not checked that, and it is. So yeah, the tail is magnetic. You couldn't see that. I'm trying to find something around here that I could possibly magnetize to show you. There's a little magnet in there. Well, either way, it's got a magnet in it. And it actually it will sit on its side, so you can magnetize it on its side like this, and it will stick just fine. So that's awesome that it has a magnet. Like, if these lights don't have a magnet, it just lose so much functionality, I think. So I'm glad they included that. Let's go over some of the specs on this. I already said it, the max output is 1100 lumens, but on low, the low mode is 10 lumens, and that's 140 hours, or excuse me, that's lower. I got the directions right here. You can see it says lower is 10 lumens, and there's actually a 5 lumen mode, and then it goes to low, which is 80 lumens at 28 hours. Mid is 280 lumens, 280 lumens at 8 hours, and 500 lumens at 2 hours 55 minutes, and 1100 lumens at 1 hour 10 minutes. That's a pretty long runtime for the high on that. I'm not sure if it will hit that, but this thing is super super bright. So in the box also comes with a holster, so you get a holster for the light, and it comes with this cable here, and it's actually like a real thick braided cable, ROFIS branded, and that's where you would plug it in. Here is the lanyard, so you can clip it on your wrist or whatnot, and that also includes some extra O-rings, and then another little protector here, so if this one for some reason were to break off, you got an extra one. Now there are some extra features with this light. There's one feature where you can put into a mode that when you turn this off, it's like a standby mode. This will actually blink. The side switch will blink, so it'll let you know if you set it down in a dark environment. You'd be like, hey, oh, there's my light. And to put it into that mode, you'll want to, when the light is on, so if I have it powered on here, you'll want to hold the off switch for 1 second. I'll just go ahead and turn it off there like that. And now we should be able to see a glowing light from time to time. So you can see it's glowing green. So if this were to set, set in somewhere, it's just a way that you can find it. Now there's also a few different, there's some shortcuts to it. For instance, if I were to hold down on the mode switch through, I'll get into the strobe, and there's also a SOS. So maybe I'm not doing it right here. Okay, so it's a long hold on the secondary switch for for strobe, and then for SOS. Okay, so I was doing it wrong. When you want to get into the strobe mode, you hold down on the secondary button, and then to go into the SOS and the other modes, you would hold it down again for, for another second. And then we got the beacon there, and then I hold it down for another second, take my hand off, and that goes into, I think that's SOS. And then I can hold it down for another long second hold, and it should go back into strobe. And then anytime I think I can just click and it will click out. So we'll head outside real quick. I'll do a real quick test about this in the dark so you can see what the beam and what the light looks like. Real quick, I did want to mention there is also a direct access to the highest setting and the lowest setting. If you want to go directly to high, you just hold down on the button here. It has the power sign on it for more than 1 second, and it'll go directly into the high mode. And also, if you want to go into the lowest mode, you hold the other button the same way, and it will go into the lowest mode. And this also does have memory, so if I turn it off, turn it back, whoa, it doesn't memorize the low ones? Let me go through here one more time. This should, okay, so if it's low there, turn off and turn on, it's back in low. But when I go to the very lowest setting, okay, and turn it off and turn it back on, okay, for some reason I don't know why it didn't hold that memory before. That was really odd. So let's just double check that one more time. So long hold, we'll turn on moonlight, turn it off, turn it back on, and there's in the lowest mode, or moonlight. I call it moonlight. It's called lower, apparently. Okay, so now we'll go ahead, shoot outside, and check this out in the dark. All right, guys, so it's pretty dark out here. I'm just gonna do a quick test here against this fence here. I'm gonna start off in the lowest mode, or the moonlight, and you probably won't be able to see it, maybe real faintly. I'm gonna walk up a little bit closer. So this is the moonlight, the very low setting, and then I'll just go ahead and cycle through it. So this is the low. It's honestly a decent amount of light right here, like all that you would really need. I don't know how it's showing up there, but we'll go into medium. Here's high and turbo. So I'll go ahead and show you how it throws here a little bit. This is still in turbo. So there you go, guys, the ROFIS TR20 angle light. And to be honest, the more and more I turn this thing, the easier it gets. I mean, it's honestly getting a lot smoother to turn this, and a lot easier the more and more I do it. So maybe that's just, you know, when you first get it, you might, the first initial time I did it, it was pretty hard, but after that, it seems to be gliding, and it's a really smooth twist too. So I'll put a link in the description. That's that. Thanks for watching.